Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone, it's your Islamic teacher and preacher Haneen Ahmad. Welcome to my YouTube channel Al-Haneen for Eternity. You are most welcome, whether you are Muslim, Christian, Jews, Hindu or from any other religions, you are welcome. We are brothers and sisters of humanity despite our religions. In the previous video, we started talking about religions of the Arabs. Today, inshallah, we are going to carry on, and this video will be the second part. But please, before we start, make sure to like and subscribe and give this video a like and share it with your family, friends and social media to spread Islam together. And if you have any question or if you want to revert to Islam, please contact me by sending me a message in the comments below. Now, let's start saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim والصلاة والسلام على أفضل الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Religions of the Arab used to have a deep conviction in the tiding of soothsayers, diviners, and astrologers. A soothsayer used to traffic in the business of foretelling future events and claim knowledge of private secrets and having jinn subordinates who would communicate the news to him. Some soothsayers claimed that they could uncover the unknown by means of a granted power, while other diviners posted they could divulge the secrets through a cause and effect inductive process that would lead to detecting a stolen commodity, location of a theft, a stray animal, and the like. The astrologer belonged to a third category who used to observe the stars and calculate their movements and orbits, whereby he would foretell the future. Lending credence to this news constituted a clue to their conviction that attached special significance to the movements of particular stars with regard to rainfall. The belief in signs as betokening future events was of course common among the Arabians. Some days and months and particular animals were regarded as ominous. They also believed that the soul of a murdered person would fly in the wilderness and would never rest at rest until revenge was taken. Superstition was rampant. Should a deer or bird when released turn right, then what they embarked on would be regarded as suspicious. Otherwise, they would get pessimistic and withhold from pursuing it. People of a pre-Islamic period, whilst believing in superstition, they still retained some of the Abrahamic traditions such as devotion to the holy sanctuary, circumambulation, observance of pilgrimage, the vigil on Arafah, and offering sacrifices. All of these were observed fully despite some innovations that adulterated these holy rituals. Quraysh, for example, out of arrogance, feeling of superiority to other tribes and pride in their custodianship of the sacred house, would refrain from going Arafah with the crowd. Instead, they would stop short at Muzdalifah. The Holy Quran rebuked and told them, ثُمَّ أَفِيضُوا مِنْ حَيْثُ أَفَاضَ النَّاسِ. Then depart from the place whence all the people depart. Another heresy deeply established in their social tradition dictated that they would not eat dried yogurt or cooked fat, nor would they enter a tent made of camel hair or seek shade unless in a house of adobe bricks, so long as they were committed to the intention of pilgrimage. They also, out of a deeply rooted misconception, denied pilgrims other than Meccans access to the food they had brought when they wanted to make pilgrimage, or lesser pilgrimage. They ordered pilgrims coming from outside Mecca to circumambulate Al-Kaaba in Quraysh uniform clothes. But if they could not afford them, men were to do so in a state of nudity, and women with only some piece of cloth to hide their groins. Allah says in this concern in the Holy Quran, يا بني آدم خذوا زينتكم عند كل مسجد. O children of Adam, take your adornment by wearing your clean clothes while praying and going round the Kaaba. If men or women were generous enough to go round Al-Kaaba in their clothes, they had to discard them after circumambulation for good. When the Meccans were in a pilgrimage consecration state, they would not enter their houses through the doors, but they used to jump off the wall of the house. They used to regard such behavior as deeds of piety and God-fearing. This practice, of course, was prohibited by the Quran. Allah said, وَلَيْسَ الْبِرُّ بِأَن تَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهَا. It is not al-birr, piety, righteousness, that you enter the houses from the back. But al-birr is the quality of the one who fears Allah. So enter houses through their proper doors, and fear Allah that you may be successful. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Such was the religious life in Arabia: polytheism, idolatry, and superstition. Judaism, Christianity, Magianism, and Sabianism, however, could find their ways easily into Arabia. The migration of the Jews from Palestine to Arabia passed through two phases. First, as a result of the pressure to which they were exposed, the destruction of their temple and taking most of them as captives to Babylon at the hand of the king Bukhtanasar. In the year BC 587, some Jews left Palestine for Hijaz and settled in the northern areas whereof. The second phase started with the Roman occupation of Palestine under the leadership of Roman Poets in 70 AD. This resulted in a tidal wave of Jewish migration into Hijaz and Yathrib, Khaybar, and Taima in particular. Here they made proselytes of several tribes, built forts and castles, and lived in villages. Judaism managed to play an important role in the pre-Islam political life. When Islam dawned on that land, there had already been several famous Jewish tribes: Khaybar, Al-Mustaliq, Al-Nadir, Qurayza, and Qaynuqa. In some versions, the Jewish tribes counted as many as 20. Judaism was introduced into Yemen by someone called As'ad Abi Karb. He had gone to fight in Yathrib, and there he embraced Judaism, and then went back taking with him two rabbis from Bani Qurayza to instruct the people of Yemen in this new religion. Judaism found a fertile soil there to propagate and gain adherents. After his death, his son Yusuf Dhu Nawas rose to power, attacked the Christian community in Najran, and ordered them to embrace Judaism. When they refused, he ordered that a bit of fire be dug, and all the Christians indiscriminately be dropped to burn therein. Estimates say that between 20 to 40,000 Christians were killed in that human massacre. The Quran related part of that story in Surah Al-Buruj. Christianity had first made its appearance in Arabia following the entry of the Abyssinian, Ethiopian, and Roman colonists into the country. The Abyssinian or Ethiopian colonization forces in league with the Christian missions entered Yemen as a retaliatory reaction for the iniquities of Dhu Nawas, and started vehemently to propagate their faith ardently. They even built a church and called it Yemeni Al-Kaaba, with the aim of directing the Arab pilgrimage caravans towards Yemen, and then made an attempt to demolish the sacred house in Mecca. Allah Almighty, however, did punish them and made an example of them here and hereafter. A Christian missionary called Phenomenon, and known for his ascetic behavior and working miracles, had likewise infiltrated into Najran. There he called people to Christianity, and by virtue of his honesty and truthful devotion, he managed to persuade them to respond positively to his invitation and embrace Christianity. The principal tribes that embraced Christianity were Ghassan, Taghlib, Tad, and some Himyarite kings, as well as other tribes living on the borders of the Roman Empire. Magianism was also popular among the Arabs living in the neighborhood of Persia, Iraq, Bahrain, and some areas on the Arabian Gulf Coast. Some Yemenis are also reported to have professed Magianism during the Persian occupation. As for Sabianism, excavations in Iraq reveal that it had been popular amongst Chaldean folks, Assyrians, and Yemens with the advent of Judaism and Christianity. However, Sabianism began to give way to the new religions, although it retained some followers mixed or adjacent to the Magians in Iraq and the Arabian Gulf. Such was the religious life of the Arabians before the advent of Islam. The role that the religions prevalent played was so marginal. In fact, it was next to nothing. The polytheists who faked Abrahamism were so far detached from its precepts and totally oblivious of its eminent God manner. They plunged into disobedience and ungodliness and developed certain peculiar religious superstitions that managed to leave a serious impact on the religious and socio-political life in the whole of Arabia. Judaism turned into abominable hypocrisy in league with hegemony. Rabbis turned into lords to the exclusion of the Lord. They got involved in the practice of dictatorial subjection of people and calling their subordinates to account for the least word or idea. Their sole target turned into acquisition of wealth and power, even if it were at the risk of losing their religion or the emergence of atheism and disbelief. Christianity likewise opened its door wide to polytheism and got too difficult to comprehend as a heavenly religion. As a religious practice, it developed a sort of peculiar medley of man and God. It exercised no bearing whatsoever on the souls of the Arabs who professed it simply because it was alien to their style of life and didn't have the least relationship with their practical life. People of other religions were similar to the polytheists with respect to their inclinations, dogmas, customs, and traditions. And now everyone, we arrived to the end of our lesson for today. Hopefully you got benefited. See you inshallah in the next video. مع السلامة في أمان الله.